move into something bigger. Suppose, what if my virtual assistant tell me the news? So I tell, suppose I say news, then it tells me the news headlines of recently. So what if that, my virtual assistant does it? Isn't it cool or not? So we'll try that now. So further, I want everyone to install two packages. One, pip install JSONs. I hope it's already there. The requirement is already satisfied for me. And similarly, pip install request. So these are the two packages which you required. Now I'll import them also. Import request and import JSON. So after importing them, elif function news. Suppose news is there in text. So suppose my in my output or in my command which I'm telling. So what I start to run the virtual assistant. I said news. Then automatically what we need to do, we need to go to the file and it need to automatically speak out news, right? To speak out news, we need another help from online. So for that, everyone, I want you to open your browsers and go to newsapi.org. What's newsapi.org is, this particular site or this particular site, what it does mean, it stores the news in the format of JSON script. What JSON script is? JavaScript. Whenever JavaScript, it's very much too complicated, but what JavaScript to be stored only the information or the matter to be we have. So if it is having in a very less complicated manner, or it can easily transfer it to through the internet, like you can easily transfer the JavaScript data. So then that it's called JSON script, the JavaScript JSON will tell you, call it as JSON. So for that, you can see retrieving articles and breaking headlines from source record with using a JSON API. So all the news will be stored in the form of JSON format. So using JSON format, you can get the news articles into your Python code. So for that, firstly, I need all of you to log in, or if you don't have an account, make an account, get one here, and then I already have an account, so I'm going with this. Yeah, so already have it everything. So now everyone will have a separate API keys. Okay, or each member will have an separate API key. So what I want you guys to do is get your own API keys. After getting your own API keys, what you can do, one thing, so you can go to the documentation here. After getting documentation, go to top headlines. So I only want basically headlines. I don't want much stuff. So I want only top headlines. So go to top headlines. Here you can see a link, right? So if you see the link, copy the whole link and store it as a variable. Suppose I put it as a variable called API address. So that's my variable. Now I want you guys to store it in this format. Now here you can see the country, here it's given as US. Okay, here the country is US, but I want for India, right? So I'll change it to the country, I'll change it to India. So this link uses us, helps us to get the API, like it helps us to get the news format. So I'll tell you how this link works. So if I click on this link, you can see the whole script, it is only a JSON script. The whole thing is given in JSON script. So there is no too much complicated. The whole is only the data. You can see this all the data. So what happens here is, here you can see there are total 38 results. That means 38 were there, and in those articles is the main. from Indian Express, the author is the sports desk. Okay, in Indian Express, the title is Mumbai versus RCB Predator playing 11 and IPL live updates. Okay, so this here, until here, the description. This is also a description of the and URL to image. This is the image URL, and this that means the whole HTML document. That means the whole web page is converted into JSON script, so it can be easy to transfer. Okay, so now this whole thing. I mean, here, until here, this whole thing, it itself is one script. I mean, like one news. Okay, so until the source to the next source, this is uh, one news headline, and again from this source to the next source, wherever yeah, this is the next source which I have. So until here to here, this is an another news. So you can see in the source there are types like it will show your name, it will show the author, it will see the title, and also the description will also be given. After the description, it is showing you a URL, and if any image is there, the image URL, and when it is published, and the content. So this is the whole thing for one news. So what happens what happens now is, now I want only, suppose, okay, I don't want the whole bunch stuff. I don't want the whole description or the images and all the stuff. So what I want, I only want a headline is enough for me, an article headline. So or the title is enough. So further I only take this. So to get this from this particular, to like for retrieve all the data, to get the retrieve all the data from this particular link, I use the function called, I use the function, or just a second. Yeah. Now I announce a variable call. I put a variable called response is equal to, the function is request dot get, what is the URL, API address, or else you can either put this, or I already gave a variable called API address, right? So it's fine. So what request does? Request is used. It's a library which is used to get the data, to retrieve the data from a particular link. Okay, so from the link I got the data, but the data is in the form of JSON script. So now I want to understand the JSON script. So now I use function called news underscore JSON. Suppose the variable is news underscore JSON is JSON dot loads, and what I need to understand is response. So whatever the text is extracted from this link, so you can see the link here, this link, it will be converted to JSON script, and that JSON script will understand. So it helps the Python to understand the JSON script. Basically the JSON libraries use it for that. Okay, and one thing about news API everyone needs to know, it updates the news time to time. So by the time to time it updates its news automatically. So there will be there will be no old news or something. So by the time to time you'll get the top headlines always. So once you get the news response to JSON, now what you will do is, suppose let us assume that I need three headlines. So I'll just put count is equal to 3. I want three headlines, so I'll put 3. Now for news in news JSON. So whenever there is news, uh, something called news. Okay, this is the news. Suppose here, okay, not. I'll just close this document. It's not required. So here, wherever if there is a news, so see articles are there. So that means this, from this article, this is one news. So whatever for news, if I say, so in the JSON script, if there is something called articles is there. So in that article, from that article, until the count is less than 0, I want that to store as string format, which is from news title. So in the article, what the title is there, I want it, right? So that title I want to store in the variable called t, until when the count is less than 0. So to count less than 0, I will put count is minus 1. So everyone knows in C language or anything how we use why I'm using this. So it goes on decreasing one by one. So for count 3 and 2 and 1, so there are totally 3. After that it stops itself. Now whatever the news or whatever we get, now I want it to print. So it will print, and similarly it will also speak out it. Okay, so it will speak it and it will print it. Now suppose I don't want directly speak, but also I want to add something new. So for that print, I'll just here are today's top headlines. So here are the today's top headlines. So this is what I want to print, and then I want to speak the same. I wanted to speak this. Oh, sorry. So I'll copy it and then I'll paste it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So what happens now? It will print. Okay, it will tell here are the today's top headlines, and it will start telling the headlines one by one until the count becomes less than 0. That means it counts becomes less than 0. That means it will have only 3 counts in total. Now, so I'll run it.
Good afternoon.
News. Okay, so we are having some issue. We'll see. Wait. Response. Okay. Yeah, I forgot to add. So response dot text. It comes in a text format. So I wanted to convert it into text format. I forgot to. So whatever the response it get, now I need to convert that. It will be in a text format. Now I need to understand to using JSON. Yeah. Now it runs.
Good afternoon.
News.
Here are today's top headlines. MIBS RCB predicted playing 11. IPL 2021 live updates. Rohit BS Virat and Friday blockbuster. The Indian Express. Seeing quadruple. Nano work. Samsung Galaxy Quantum 2 aka Galaxy A82 5G pre-order date. Full specifications leak. Gadgets 360.
Yeah. So you can see I told count is 3, so I got 3 news headlines, and then it automatically went to listening. And you can also see along with the article title, it's also saying who is the author also. So that's pretty much good. So whenever I say news, the virtual assistant also is saying me how many news articles are there. Is it working for you guys?